Amorim speaks on the impact of the last 3 games and how it's changed the mood in the dressing room. Manchester United might not be going for a midfielder in January. They might be going for a wing-back. We're going to talk about Patrick Dorgu, Diogo Dalot, and obviously, of course, Amad is going off to AFCON. Some people say, should Harry Amas be given a chance while he's out on loan? And I think we need a ready-made wing-back on top of midfielders. We're going to talk about that, the latest on the wing-back situation. We're going to talk about Angelo Stiller. Seems to be a genuine target. Every reliable source is linking him to United. We're going to talk about the latest on Leach's injury, but Maguire could be out for the Forest game. We're going to talk about Man United versus Nottingham Forest starting 11 predictions and some interesting information on Benjamin Sesko. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute roundup. If you're new to the channel, every single evening on the channel, I do a 10-minute video rounding up all the news, so you don't have to watch long live streams. You get all your news in 10 minutes every evening. I do apologise if this one's a bit late, but it's Halloween. Your girl's been out. Let's get right into it. Amorim on the positive dressing room atmosphere after 3 wins in a row. It's different. When you win games, you work better. You like to be here and you like spending time with your teammates. So it's completely different. But we have to focus on the next one because it's all about the next one, which is true. If we lose to Nottingham Forest, the vibes are gone. The vibes are good right now. You know, the vibes are good, although it's Man United fan base having arguments over has Amorim changed his tactics or not. Which the answer is, Amorim's tactics these last 3 games are very different from the first 6 games. But Amorim's tactics these last 3 games were things he tried to do last year but couldn't do because he didn't have the players to do it. Højlund couldn't do what Sesko did. Onana couldn't do what Le Mans did. That is the truth of it. We've been very different the last 3 games of this season, but elements of it he did try last season. But other than that, it's been positive vibes. And it is like, well, if we lose to Forest, which I don't think we will, I think we're going to beat Forest and we're going to have 4 wins in a row. I think Tottenham's the harder game. You know, the vibe's gone. So he's very true on that. But he said it's different. When you win games, you work better. And that's true. When we win games, we're more confident. I don't think it's just about tactical changes to why we're improving. The players are executing Amorim's ideas better these last few games. I think particularly in the Brighton game, we were more clinical. If you look at the Arsenal game, you look at the Fulham game, if we were more clinical, we could have got a result in that game. If we didn't have Bayendier and goal and we were more clinical, we could have got 6 points instead of 2 from those opening 2 games. We actually deep it. So it's not just that I think there's tactical changes. I think because we won 3 games, we're more confident. We're now more clinical. We're now overperforming our XG. And now the players are more likely getting behind Amorim's idea and there's a better vibe in training. There's a better energy in training. That's what I think. You know, you like to be here. You like to be spending time with your teammate when you're winning. So, yeah, the vibe is different. And that's a good thing. But it doesn't matter if, you know, anymore. If we lose our next game, we've got to continue this. Look, we're going to drop points, we're going to lose games, but if you can beat Forest, you can beat Spurs, you can get 5 wins in a row, maybe you get a draw versus Palace, you bounce back with that with another win. That's what I want to see. Consistency. Anyway, let's get into the transfer news. Ben Jacobs was on the United stand today. He went and spoke about a load of things, so make sure you go check out the full video after this one. But one of the interesting things Ben Jacobs mentioned was potentially fullback. Ben Jacobs was asked on other January targets that weren't midfielders. If Xerxes departs, there's room to add a striker in January again if the right target presents itself. I don't think that will happen because if we're not giving Xerxes minutes, I don't know if we can give anyone else really minutes. But he said, and a fullback is still there too. So Ben Jacobs was saying a fullback is still on Man United's list. Despite bringing Dorgu in January, a fullback is still on the list. Now, my honest opinion of Patrick Dorgu is he literally turned 21 the other day. I like Dorgu, but he's very raw. And I also think that Dorgu is really good at carrying the ball. And people don't see that. He's always getting the ball at the pitch. He's a very good ball carrier. Crossing lacks, but ball carrying is good. He wasn't great in his cameo the other day, but I do think he's better than Dela left wing back. I do think that Dorgu's raw, and I do think that Dorgu can be a good player. And Dorgu was my one to watch this season because he had a very good preseason, and I think it would be crazy to write him off. But he's very young, he's very raw. We sim with Garnacho. The difference between Garnacho and Cunha. Cunha's ready-made, he's proven now. Cunha's a level head of Garnacho. I think we need a proven left wing back that Dorgu can learn from. Or a winger, someone like Semenyo to come in. Because you look at how much better we are when Amad plays. We've only lost 1 game that both Amad and Casemiro have started this season. Only 1. Yeah? All season. Because Amad at wing back and Casemiro midfield has given us so much stability. Because Casemiro has the defensive midfield capabilities. Amad at wing back with Mbumo, it's a double threat, so we're more threatening attack. I do look at it and think if you can get a winger that can go left wing back and double up with Cunha, so we can have Semenyo, Cunha one side, Amad and Mbumo the other side, that is mint. That is insane. And I think, you know, while I like Dorgu and he's raw, he's more defensive. He's more of a back four plan. I do think we need, for Amorim's system to work, we need wing or wing backs, because if you swap Ahmad for Dalot and Mbeumo is nowhere near as dangerous as Ahmad and Mbeumo. You look at the Sunderland game, who were the two most threatening players? Ahmad and Mbeumo. You look at the Liverpool game, who combined for the goal? Ahmad and Mbeumo. You look at the Brighton game, what was the most threatening side? Ahmad and Mbeumo. You know, Cunha's great, but Ahmad and Mbeumo is so deadly. So I do think that, you know, we need a fullback. I think we need a fullback. We need an attacking fullback. And if there's an opportunity there in January, United could go for it. And you know, that puts Dorgu in a little bit of trouble. But I do think we need an attacking-minded wing-back. But of course, let me know your thoughts down below. So, this was said by Fabrizio Romano, because we've been talking about Angelo Stiller a lot. Ben Jacobs, Fabrizio Romano have all said that. And we know that United are looking at Stiller. We know that Jason Wilcox is a fan of Stiller. We know that he's been monitored for a while. But Romano spoke in more detail about it on Give Me Sport today and said, Angelo Stiller, is good in possession, has good vision and is consistent. He could be the kind of player needed by United. Now, there's two things Man United need in midfield. And what we do know is Man United want to sign 2 to 3 midfielders this summer. A little bit like we signed 3 attackers last summer. This summer, we want to sign 3 midfielders. We revamped our attack last summer. This summer will be, in 2026, will be midfield and wing backs. You know, I think they're happy with the centre backs. We just might need another one for depth, depending on if Maguire stays. But Angelo Stiller is very good on the ball. United need a player that is really athletic, that is ridiculous off the ball, like Caicedo, Declan Rice, because Amorim wants his midfielders to do a ridiculous amount of running, which very few midfielders can thrive in Amorim's system. We've said that a million times. But also, I think he's starting to have the centre-back step up in a different way, which can help create overloads. But we also need someone that's good on the ball. If you notice that all our ball progression at the start of the season when we're dominating possession was we were going to the wing-backs and the wing-backs were getting up the pitch. Now we're going along because we can't build centrally. That's an issue we have under Amorim. We can't build centrally and build up. And Angelo Stiller is someone that is very good in build up, very good at receiving the ball and breaking the lines. He's someone that can build up centrally. And I think what Roman is getting to here is one of the profiles of midfielders United looking at, someone that can take the ball and build up centrally, which is something Maino can do. But Amorim doesn't fully trust Maino. Now, it would be interesting to see Maino and Casemiro in the midfield too with Bruno higher. It would be interesting to see that, but I don't think we'll see that until AFCON, because there's no point changing the front three of Cunha and Mbeumo Sesko because it's brilliant. But I do think Maino is probably the best solution to our build-up issues. But someone like Stiller could do that. There's concerns over does he have the physicality to play in the Premier League? Like, that's a concern. But he's a very good player, Stiller. Continuing on into updates. We have one more training. We will see. I think Maguire is hard to say if he's going to be fit. They're going to make the call tomorrow on Maguire and if he's ready for the match. He said on Leach is not ready yet, but he wants to be ready. But look, Man United don't want to rush back Leach. We've got a good enough defence that we don't need to rush back Leach. Leach wants to be back, but they don't want to rush him. But he's training. You can understand. You can understand that he's ready, but he needs more time. They have to be careful. I think Leach was like, I'm fed up, I want to be back. And the club are like, we just want to be a bit more careful. We just want to give you a bit more time. That's the sense that I get with Leach and what's going on there. Continuing on into more updates. This is what I want to see versus Forest, and I'm intrigued what you want to see. But Maguire and De Ligt due to physicality, if Maguire's fit, with the third centre-back being either Euro or Masraoui, I would go with Euro. Just because I think Forest is very physical, and I think it is a game for Maguire if fit. I'd like to see Shaw trialled at left wing back. Obviously, Ahmed at right wing back, Casemiro, Bruno midfield 2, front 3, Sesko and Mbeumo Cunha. It's pretty much an unchanged lineup, but Maguire coming in for Dalot and Shaw going to left wing back from the Brighton game. I'd like to see Shaw trialled at left wing back. I don't know if he's got the legs for it. But I'd just like to see it and see how it works. I don't know what your thoughts are. And last but not least, no player aged 23 or younger has scored more non-penalty goals since the start of 23-24 across Europe's top 5 leagues than Sesko. And I think that's a good stat to have. I think looking at Sesko so far this season, very early days, not quite as good as Mbeumo and Cunha, but 2 goals, an assist, promising signs. I think he's already bringing more this season than we got at Hoyland last season. And when I look at Gyökeres, I sometimes think, did we dodge a bullet? Is Sesko the better choice? Did we dodge the bullet? Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts on that down below. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's 10-minute roundup. I'll be back tomorrow with a match reaction to Manchester United versus Forest. Let's make it 4 out of 4 wins. See you next time. Bye.